In a sprawling mansion perched atop a hill, the life of the billionaire's young son, Ion, seemed perfect on the surface. His days were filled with toys, tutors, and endless attention. Yet the boy often wandered into the shadows of the grand estate unnoticed. Despite his father's wealth and power, the mansion felt strangely cold, its halls echoing with the whispers of servants and the distant hum of opulence. One fateful afternoon, the tranquility of the estate shattered. Ion, curious and adventurous, as children often are, ventured too close to a balcony that overlooked a sheer drop. In a heartbeat, a misstep sent him teetering on the edge. Panic swept through the household as the child's cries pierced the grand silence. The staff froze, some rooted in fear, others unsure of how to act, haunted by the idea that any wrong move could cost them their jobs or worse. Endanger the boy further. Among them was Mira, a young maid from a small village, cradling her own infant daughter in her arms. She had come to the mansion seeking honest work to provide for her child, never imagining that fate would place her in the center of a life-or-death moment. While the others hesitated, Mira's maternal instinct surged. Without a second thought, she positioned herself beneath the railing, ready to catch Ion should he fall. Her heart pounded, her baby clutched safely against her chest. As she called out to the boy, urging him to hold on, time seemed to stretch every second heavier than the last. The staff watched in stunned silence as Mira leaned forward, balancing, her weight, her arms trembling under the double burden of her child, and the boy dangling perilously above. With a sudden lurch, Ion slipped, but Mira's arms were there, catching him just in time. She fell to the ground, shielding both children as her knees hit the marble floor. The room erupted in gasps, some tears, and whispered prayers of relief. The billionaire, arriving moments later, was overcome with a mix of anger, fear, and gratitude. He had feared the worst, imagining headlines and public outrage, yet here stood his son alive, held safely by a woman he had overlooked for her humble status. His perspective shifted in a heartbeat. The walls of social hierarchy seemed to crumble, as he realized the courage it took to act, especially while protecting one's own child. News of the incident spread beyond the mansion walls. Friends, colleagues, and even the media were eager to hear the story of how the poorest had saved the richest. But Mira, ever modest, refused accolades. She simply smiled, kissed her baby, and returned to her duties, as if the event were just another day in her life. Yet the billionaire could not let her bravery go unrecognized. He ensured that she and her family would be taken care of, providing opportunities she had only dreamed of: education for her children, a home of her own, and respect in a world that often ignored the powerless. As days turned into months, the mansion changed as well. The once rigid hierarchies softened. The staff worked together more like a family than servants under a wealthy master. Ion, now older and wiser, never forgot the lesson of courage and compassion he witnessed that day. He learned that wealth could never replace bravery, and that true heroism often came from the unlikeliest of places. Mira's life, too, transformed. She remained grounded and humble, but her confidence grew, and the story of her courage became an inspiration in her village and beyond. People spoke not just of a heroic act, but of the reminder that love, instinct, and compassion know no social boundaries. The day that could have ended in tragedy instead became a story of salvation, courage, and humanity. And for Ion, it was the day he truly understood the value of people over possessions, and the extraordinary power of a mother's heart even when her hands were full of her own little child.